Now, I'm a fan of preserving and I've got a brilliant piccalilli recipe to show you. In my bowl here, I've got a selection, all sorts of different vegetables, carrot, cucumber, peppers, shallot, and I'm going to add some runner beans, which I'm just finishing chopping now. So cut everything into quite small pieces and as evenly sized as possible. Get those in and then pop them together into a really large bowl. There we go. So that's the last of the beans. So I've got a huge assortment here, altogether 1.8 kilos of your choice, and to that we need 100 grams of sea salt. Now sprinkle it over the top, if you can, because your bowl might be quite full. Just give it a little stir around. Okay, so it's all nicely distributed around those vegetables. What you need to do now is cover it with a clean tea towel and leave it for 24 hours, and the salt will draw all the moisture from the vegetables. It will look like this. Bring this over here to show you. All the liquid is drawn into the bottom of the bowl there, look. So all we need to do now is take it to a colander and rinse it off under cold water. So I've rinsed all the salt off. I'm going to tip my vegetables carefully onto this tea towel and pat them dry. There we are. Give them a good pat. And now it's time to start the pickling. So I've got a large pan here, I've got a bottle of malt vinegar, and I'm just going to set aside a couple of tablespoons, and the rest is going to go into the pan. To that I'm going to add some castor sugar, golden, in it goes. Now for our spices. I'm going to be using an assortment. I've got a teaspoon of dry crushed chilli, a teaspoon of ground ginger, in it goes, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, and that's going to give that classic sort of yellow piccalilli colour. In it goes, 2 of mustard seed, and I think it's really nice to have a mixture of whole seeds and ground in a pickle. Makes it much more interesting when it comes to eat it. Now a whole tablespoon of mustard powder, there we go. And I've got some stem ginger from a jar that's been finely chopped. It's about 3 big pieces. In they go. Now what we need to do is stir it gently and bring it to the boil. So the sugar's dissolved, so I'm going to add my vegetables to the pan. I've dried them nicely. I'm just going to slide them in. Give them a good stir, and I've just got one more thing to do. There we go. That little bit of vinegar that I reserved, that 2 tablespoons, I'm going to dissolve a tablespoon of corn flour in that vinegar, and then we're going to stir it back in, and that will just thicken the mixture very, very slightly. Drizzle it in. I'm going to bring the vegetables back to the boil. They're going to need about 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, just to make sure they're tender, but they've still got a little bit of bite. It's quite important, I think, for a piccalilli to have a certain amount of crunch. And when they're ready, I'm going to pack them into my warm, sterilised jars, and we'll be ready to store them. So my vegetables are tender, so I'm going to pop them into my jars. Now you need to take care here, in fact turn it off the heat. If you want to leave it to cool for 5 minutes or so, do, but just be very careful. I'm just using a large tablespoon to gently spoon it in. Just take your time, and it's quite a good idea if your jars are still warmed as well. Now you need to make sure you go really to the top of the jar and then get some juice in. There's lots of juice in this pan, so try and get the level to cover the veg. I think that will do us just nicely. I'm going to pop the lid on now, and like most pickles, a few weeks in a cool, dark place really benefits them. Just let the flavours mature before serving.